You need to include your
Yeah,
audio
I've done
in
that.
the
I've
party.
I've done that.
Awesome.
A bit quicker than
Yeah, I
last.
got so under the safety car. I lost my front left end plate, so Scofield was able to close in on me rapido. Um, but yeah, it was a good race, so I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. Did you damage your front wing when you were weaving left to right?
Yeah,
I
because
thought you
I looked
had.
behind me as I was weaving, and I lost my front left end plate.
Yeah, I thought you
So I'm an
had.
idiot.
I said it on commentary and I was like, has he though? Because it didn't look like you've actually lost it, but no, you did. No,
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was definitely gone.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, you don't understeer that much. I've not seen you understate in the first. Yeah, but no. Yeah. I won't ask you to go through.
Anyway,
I won't ask you to go through your 34 other laps, but
either way though, I still enjoyed it. It was a great battle.
oh,
I'm really happy with the race anyway.
it's from what I've done in terms of like commentators on like Canada, they are the best races for me. I absolutely love races around Canada. They are epic.
Cool. We are up and running.
We are indeed on this Saturday afternoon, or if you live in America, I really don't have a clue what time it is over there. But welcome along to Tier 2 of PFL around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve track, so soaked in Formula One history. It has provided classic moments throughout the years, from the days of Gilles Villeneuve climbing to the top step of the podium to the last around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, which was nearly 3 years ago actually, so not the most recent, but the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is a staple to the Formula One circus, and I certainly cannot wait for the sport to go back there in a few months. Oh, actually, next month. It's next month. But joining me is Matt Zuvo, the championship leader of Tier 1. Matt, looking forward to this one?
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it's hopefully it's a bit more interesting than the last race, because there was a lot of issues happening in the last race, but it was still a good race.
Indeed it was. Now, this is the first time I've actually commentated Tier 2 this season, so I am learning a lot more than others. So it could be interesting. But I think the drivers are starting their laps, one of them being Revokes in the Williams. Of course, this is a 3-tier qualifying session, so like typical Formula 1, it goes Q1, Q2, Q3. Having said that, we only have 14 drivers out on track, so that may be a slight problem in terms of the competitive nature of Q1, but the driver will want to get their eye in to, push on and to get their laps together. It seems like the sun is setting on the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, but who will the sun still be shining upon? The Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is a very challenging track to master. It's very akin to the street circuits. The walls are lurking. The walls are waiting, particularly with champions, which Revokes is about to get past in a few moments' time. Almost brushes it, but he manages to escape from the mercy and the lure that is the Wall of Champions. Lock My Wood is quickest so far. Well, was quickest. He has soon been displaced by a Curdray on a 110.3 on the medium compound tyres, it must be said. Of course, this is Q1. This isn't where all of the positions are set, particularly those at the top. But, it seems like we have side-by-side between Revokes and Scofie there. And neither of them are on a competitive lap, thankfully. So they are able to get on with their sessions with no harm done. Seems like We The Best is on a push lap. He is. Comes through the end of Sector 1. It's a 19.9 through the first sector. Seems like he was actually brushed the wall off of the exit of Turn 4. Now AR Force in the McLaren goes quickest on a 19.7. That is a lengthy gap to a Curdray, even on the soft compound tyres.
I think that was a bit of a spin for one of the Mercedes drivers.
Brother Troll. Indeed, it is now. This is, well, he's going to have to keep up the weight of other drivers, which hopefully he'll be able to do. And I'm sure his rear wing isn't liking this right now as he flushes the wall numerous times, but it looks like he's going to just about able to get it turned round. Oh no, he's going to have to reverse and then go forwards once more. So no severe damage for the Mercedes, but that will be an eye-opener. And that's even on his out lap. So he's literally just come out of the pits there. Maybe tyres are a little too cold. But you've got a problem there. It's the other Mercedes, is it? Or is there another?
No, it's the same Mercedes.
Oh, it's the same.
Oh,
And he got very close to Wiedebest there. Of course, this is only on the session. So the tyres are probably baking hot right now. I thought he was going to have contact with another car there. Thankfully, both cars there emerged unscathed. Now, he is going at a very pedestrian pace, and there is a Haas, I believe, of Atomic Drax perhaps coming soon. Yes, Atomic Drax will be coming through, so hopefully they'll be able to get out of his way. Oh, and he's crashed into the concrete wall. He lit up the rear tyres, and Atomic Drax's qualifying session lasted only a few moments. He has written off the right front of his Haas car. And wow.
that is so unfortunate.
That is there. I said the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, its walls are lurking. They are waiting for the drivers, and they've been waiting for a mistake from the likes of Atomic Drax, who has just been punished severely for what was a minor, perceptible error.
CB Shadows also putting a Purple Sector 1 and Purple Sector 2 on medium compound tyres, so it's going to be interesting what he can do and see where he can put himself.
Now, this is, of course, not imperative, this session for race strategy, nor is it imperative for position, really. We have only 14 drivers in this session, 13 now as Atomic Drax has crashed out of the session in dramatic circumstances. Then Shadows in the Red Bull on the medium compound tyres slots himself up into P4. Scofie is out on track. He's not setting a representative lap time. Horridby, I don't think, no, he isn't setting a representative lap time either. Theo, though, in the Alpine is now tackling the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, passing the bit of track where Atomic Drax had that eye-opening crash. But the Alpine manages to get through there very nicely. We have yellow flags out in Sector 3. That is because Shadows has slowed down. It doesn't seem like he is in anyone's way, really. The two Aston Martins of Maxi Monster and Horridby are out on track and are improving their lap times.
It's interesting with the tyre choices here. We've got a very wide array of strategies. People are mediums and the softs, so it's going to be all over the place of what's going to happen with the strategies today, I think.
It is indeed, and with 35 laps ahead of the drivers, strategy can play a pivotal factor in this race. Of course, the likelihood of a safety car is at the very least remote because the walls are so close and the margins are just so small. And we've learnt already in this qualifying session that the walls are waiting for the drivers. But strategy, regardless of the safety car, has a part to play. The two Aston Martins, though, on their latest tour of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, have gone very strong. Horridby on the medium compound tyres, quickest of the lot on a 1.9.5. Meanwhile, Maxi Monster is up into P3.
Brother Troy is now out on his flying lap, so hopefully he can not hit the wall and try and get a good lap in.
Exactly, just wants a benchmark to improve upon throughout this qualifying session. Seems to be struggling there through the entry of turn 3. It's a 20.3 through the first sector, but he's kept it cool and he's kept it on the island. So, as long as he can have something to build upon, it's not going to be too worrying for the moment Ford Mercedes.
Aston Martin going slow in sector 3, letting the racing cars through.
See that
Slipstream though now to Mercedes.
they are, and so it's Brother Troll that's going to take advantage of this slipstream. He'll go through the final chicane, he avoids the wall of champions, and he hunts down the finish line. This is going to be his first representative lap time of the session. It's 14th for the moment, but it doesn't seem like we're going to be losing any drivers in this session. So, Brother Troll does have something to build upon. It's how important is it, Matt, to get that first lap time?
Yeah, around here you've definitely got to get a good lap time straight away. Atomic Jack's put in a decent lap, but getting DNF'd and retired straight away, it doesn't help. He's only got Brother Troll behind him now, and if Brother Troll can improve by just a tenth and a half, that's Atomic Jack starting last.
Indeed, it is. The likes of Akurdre and Hydrants are on a lap. Akurdre is improving through the first sector. Having said that, his best lap was set on the medium compound tyres. He has now switched to the softs. So you would expect more grip and more speed from the Alpine around these corners of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Raging towards the Casino hairpin, the scene of Robert Kubica's horrific crash in 2007, but the Alpine having no troubles through there. Seems to have set a very competitive middle sector, and as he will open DRS and rage towards the turn 13-14 chicane, if he can just hook up the end of this lap, it seems very promising for him. Benchmark time is a 1:09.5. That is what Akurdre has, and he is 2/1000ths shy of Horridby. Yes, the Aston Martin did set his lap on the medium compound tyres, but Akurdre has put his name in contention right at the start of this session, or this event.
Horridby, yeah, he's done a great lap there on the mediums, don't get me wrong, but he's had to do it 3 times. He's been on those tyres now for 3 laps, so his tyres are going to be even more degraded at the start of the race, which is going to cause problems for later on.
So I've said this is a 3-tier qualifying session. I keep on talking, so that keeps on blocking my view. It's actually a 1 qualifying session. So, Horridby is going to be starting on harder tyres that will open up strategy for his race venture, but like Matt has alluded to, it took him 3 attempts, so that will eat into the tyre life of the tyre, and that may set him back a little. I wouldn't say the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is as punishing on tyres as other tracks on the calendar, but you probably want to be on younger tyres to extend your opening stint into the Grand Prix to as long as possible. But like,
spin by shadows in sector 2.
Yes, we do. It doesn't seem like he's incurred massive damage there, so he can carry on his way. But if these are the tyres that he set his best lap on, he probably will want to change them in a hurry. So then, we the best through the final sector in the Red Bull will open DRS. He will head on towards the final chicane. He currently sits in 6th place, but can he find an improvement? He rides the curves very nicely there. He will hunt down the finish line, and 6th turns into 5th. It's an improvement by nearly 2/10 for the Red Bull, and on the medium compound tyres, that's a competitive lap time. Having said that, that is 2 lap times now set on that tyre, but Scofie flirting with the limits, with the rear of his car through the exit of turn 2, but it remains forwards motion for the AlphaTauri, but it seems like he's backed out of his latest attempt. Maxi Monster in the Aston Martin is quickest of the lot through the first sector on the soft compound tyres.
Maxi Monster, if he gets into pole position, is going to be bad for the rest of the drivers. In the Tier 1, he was defending for his life, so it's going to be, if he gets pole position here, it's going to be difficult for people to overtake on an already semi-difficult track, so he's really got to put that lap in.
The drivers fear Maxi Monster's relentless racecraft. They may fear him even more in this event if he goes to the top of the timesheets, which he duly does by 1.5 tenths of a second, but AR Force has soon displaced him by 3/4 of a tenth. We have battles brewing here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and the margins are so tight. It's the McLaren of AR Force that heads the field for the moment.
Brother Troll finally getting into P13 ahead of Atomic Drax, which is going to be an issue for Drax. But fortunately, Drax will be able to start on the medium compound tyre, so that's not too much of an issue for him.
Yellow flags out in Sector 2. I think that's Scofie who's just letting drivers past, which he is. Let's see who is on a lap. Jowry is on a lap. Hydrants is on a lap and he is improving. Scofie's not on a lap. Revokes is starting a lap, I think. Maxi Monster is not on a lap. Neither is AR Force. But Brother Troll, actually, through the middle sector, is improving significantly. He has got his eye in this qualifying session and he's building upon the progress he has made from the first lap until the present one. There are yellow flags out in Sector 3, but I imagine that's because drivers are letting one another pass. But Brother Troll then, through the final chicane, opens DRS. He will see the finish line, and it is now 12th for the Mercedes. So, he is improving. He is improving, which is good to see. And he is no longer the slowest of the bunch we have here so far. Now, Theo, I believe, is on a lap, but he is not improving. Revokes, I believe, is also on a lap. In the Williams, he has DRS open. He'll approach the turn 13-14 chicane. Oh, he loses the rear, and he almost finds the wall. That was true measurement on the brakes there. Seemed like it was going to be a moment of madness through the final chicane, but somehow the walls, well, did not have a visitor by the name of Revokes. That was so fractionally close to damage in the end of the Williams' session. Wow, that is
very good to see, though, that Williams getting straight out of the way as soon as he was on track, went straight off the racing line and let the Alpine of, I believe, Theo get through. So it was good to see that kind of stuff.
It's good to see that the drivers are wary of one another and we don't have problems in this session. AR Force, though, in the McLaren, who currently sits on pole position, has retired from the session.
I believe everyone's coming into the pits now.
Yep, we have the last few seconds of qualifying left. The checkered flag is out. And I don't think anyone is going to displace AR Force, who looks like, I want to be careful here, it looks like he has taken pole position for the Tier 2 race here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. He is hooked a lap together with a 19.286. The front two start on the soft compound tyres, but Hydrant in third and Horridby, I believe, in fourth. Both start from the medium compound tyres. So there is a disparity in strategy that should pave the way for an intriguing race. Matsuvo, what are your initial thoughts from the session?
Yeah, great session. Lots of strategies being thrown around. The mediums, the softs. It's going to be at least a one stop, but that's a medium to the hard strategy, and the hards are not great around here. The softs as well, they're very rapid, but they degrade so quickly around here. Very punishing on that front left tyre. So it's going to be an amazing race, I think. I think it's going to be a really good one. Lots of strategies opening up for everyone.
I absolutely echo your thoughts there, Matt. So then, we have reached the end of qualifying, and we have a very competitive race ahead of us. AR Force is our pole sitter by less than a tenth of a second, so the margins are being established as tight already. It will be AR Force versus Maxi Monster on towards turn 1, Hydrant in third, Horridby at his home race in fourth. What can he do from there? But yeah, a very competitive race is most certainly ahead of us. Let me just go down. Yeah.
And let's not forget, Skilfy, he, in Tier 1, he went from 12th to 1st. He did a last to first challenge and he managed to do it. So don't count him out. He may be starting in 9th on those medium tyres, but he's definitely got the pace to get into the at least the podium positions.
Indeed. Didn't he finish? I'm trying to think. He finished on the podium from the rear of the grid in Paul Ricard last week, I think. But we will have to see. Now, it looks like there are dark clouds overhead at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the race. That will be, well, could be a challenge for the drivers if the rain does start to fall. If it's anything like 2011, then this is going to be a race of madness and mayhem. Now, I'm not sure. Do they do a formation laps for Tier 2?
I don't believe so.
All right.
We're going to find out in a few
We
seconds.
are going to find out. So, the race start may just be only a few moments away.
Yeah, we're going on to a formation lap.
Okay, I didn't have my line ready there. I was thinking, let's think of a line here. Oh, God. I was like, oh, thank God we have a formation lap. I don't really deal with pressure well. Oh, yes, we do have a few disqualified drivers from this formation lap, going by the names of Revoked and Theo. So that...
Revoked just didn't get off the line, and I think Theo hit into the back, and obviously that causes both drivers to get DSQ'd from the formation lap, so that's unfortunate for both of those guys.
It is indeed, but as you may glance towards your screens, the pit stop strategies have been presented, and it looks like we're going to have a two-stop race. Now, if there's a few safety cars, there's no doubt we're going to have a two-stop race. At the very least, we may even have 3 stops. But the strategy will be interesting nonetheless. Nobody has chosen the hard compound tyres, which isn't really a surprise, as Matt alluded to earlier, as the hards just don't really work well in terms of pace around here. Yes, they have longevity, but if it's pace you're looking for, you kind of want to avoid those hard tyres. But AR Force is the lead driver at the moment. And he leads the field. Good to see actually also the drivers aren't like a yawning chasm away from one another. It can sometimes get quite irritating when the drivers at the front who put all the hard work in qualifying have to sit on the grid for an absolute age.
I mean, Skilfy has quite a large gap in front of him, so he's doing that, unfortunately.
Oh, he isn't.
But
he is.
He is going to have the warmer tyres, and everyone else in front of him is going to have the colder tyres, so a bit of strategy playing into the start as well.
So then, the grid is set. The picture is ready to be painted, but is it going to be a race, a picture of beauty? Looks like we have the drivers on the grid. Oh, please, Codemasters, don't glitch. I had a problem with this with my other with my other race that I commentated earlier. Oh no! Green flag is out. The lights are not ready. This may have to be an aborted start.
Give it a couple more seconds and see what happens.
Tension is building at the moment, but it seems like the racing may just have to wait for a few moments.
I'm just going to jump in the Discord and see what people are saying. Yep, the lobby is disconnected, so I'm gonna go and create a new one.
I'll take a picture of the grids and the tyres if need be.
I've got the grid on my phone, so I can quickly get that available.
Do you want tyres as well? Or do we trust the drivers?
No, I think
No,
I
didn't
think we
think
should definitely have them have the tyres sorted out.
Yeah, alright, I'll send it to you on Discord. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I think I've sent it to you, so yeah. So then we will be going to a new lobby. So the race starts, which appeared to only be a few moments away, is going to have to wait at least for a few minutes. I think it's going haywire now, this lobby. Yep, it has.
Grid. Select Canada. Oh. Yes.
You are going to do formation lap. Okay, that serves as a good indicator. Yeah.
I believe that is everything. Do damage. I need to make sure that's on. That is indeed on.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Good. I will be on the lobby in a sec.
And I'm just getting as well that apparently the race was dry for the entire event, so I'm going to put it on clear, but I am going to make it overcast. Okay, I believe, so we've got 14 drivers, I believe that's every, ooh, no it's not.
I thought we did have 14 drivers.
We did, but KOT has joined, so if we should have 15, so yeah, there we go.
So here we'll have to...
So, now I need to do the grid.
Lovely jubbly.
I'll put KOT last, because
that makes
he
sense,
didn't
yeah.
actually do the race. Just need to get the picture up of the grid. It's amazing TV you got there. First, there you are. Monster. Hydrant.
One thing I was going to say, X Nathan's saying that he would like to be invited to the session. So he obviously didn't qualify, but if I may just invite him, obviously the more drivers the merrier.
Yeah, he can join, but he'll have to go behind KOT because
Yeah, that's
KOT
fine.
was in first.
That's fine.
Goofy, Leo, Troll, Woods, Jax, changes. Awesome.
Okay. I've sent Nathan a invite, so hopefully he will be able to join us. Gatekeeper as well, saying he wants an invite. What actually? He raced yesterday, so I don't need to bother typing up his name. Gatekeeper.
Still got 15 drivers. We're waiting for, was it Gatekeeper and
Nathan? Yeah, Gatekeeper, there he is. Invites him.
Gatekeeper is in. And K-Bass has just joined.
Okay. So then we'll have nearly a full grid. Delightful.
I'm thinking now, do we have to redo qualifying? Because a lot of people are just randomly joined now.
Oh god.
Nah, I think we'll be okay. So Gatekeeper, KUS, yeah, they've all gone into the right positions. So the first come first served. So they should start where they are. So we're just waiting for Nathan. Just gonna see if I can invite Nathan. Okay, just send Nathan an invite. See if he's able to join.
It says it didn't come through for him, but that was from an invite from someone else. So he isn't in just yet. It seems. Drivers, some of them seem to be readying up.
Yeah, but we're still waiting for Nathan. What's going on, Nathan? Apparently Nathan's unable to join, so he's going to quit the game and load back in, so we need to wait for people to unready up, basically. There you go, Nathan is in. He's to join a team and then we can get going. penalties in the Mercedes. I'm just going to make sure that he actually is in the right slot. Should be. Yes. Okay, so that is everything. We should be good to go. Did I put formation lap on? I think I did. Yes, I did. Cool. Yep, we are Gucci. Okay. Are you there?
Oh, well, I am, yes.
You just seem very quiet.
Oh no, I was just trying to add the league onto the app so I can actually have a look at the championship standings.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thinking too hard.
Yeah, I hadn't disappeared. It was a moment of silence. It was probably a lovely moment for you not having to hear my voice for a few seconds. But
no, I miss it. I miss it.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. So then, it looks like the drivers are going to be sorting out their setups, making sure that they are on the right tyres, and the formation lap will soon be underway once more. Hopefully, we can dodge another Codemasters irritation. But we
Some
will.
people are not starting on their right tyres, and that is going to result in 5 grid penalties at the end of the race. So they need to get their tyres on. Skilfy, if you're watching the stream, that means you put that on that medium. Nope, Skilfy's getting a 5 grid penalty.
Right then, so the drivers are on their, or starting their formation laps. So then, AR Force on pole on the soft compound tyres, head of Maxi Monster, who too is on the softs. Hydrant and Horrid-B were third and fourth, are on the mediums, Occurre 5th. Shadows and We the Best on the mediums, Revoke 8th. Scofie 9th is on the hards. Yeah. 10th is Theo on the softs, and then everyone outside the top 10, we don't need to worry about them. But Jowry and Brother Troll have been disqualified from the formation lap, which is not ideal for them, but it is not the end of the world. When you mean, Matt, when you mean 5, do you mean 5-second penalty for Scofie coming at the end of this race?
It's difficult to say because with those hards, if there is no safety car for the first half of the race, he only has to do a 1 pit stop, and that could mean he could win the race starting on those hards in P9.
Well, we will have to see how these next 35 laps pan out. The drivers coming through the final corner and will place themselves on the grid for the start of the race. So
I know the hards are very bad around here, but Scofie had to go into the mediums, not the hards. That's Anyway, back to race.
Indeed. We have 35 laps ahead of us. We have what should be a fantastic race ahead of us too. And we have 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, it is go, go, go! It is AR Force that's got a great start. It's an even better start from Horridby, who, thought about who was going to get up into third, maybe second through the first few corners. He then gives his teammate a bit of a tap, but AR Force out in front leads the race. His teammate Gatekeeper has lost his front window in the rear of the pack. It's not the start that Gatekeeper would have wanted, but the drivers filing in behind one another through the first few corners. But AR Force has converted pole into the lead through the first few corners, and it's a spin. It's a spin for a Kerdray. Or was it a Kerdray? Yes, it was a Kerdray. Now it looks like side-by-side action between KOT and Jowry. The Alfa Romeo emerges ahead as they rage on towards turn 8. And it is the Alfa Romeo that has the upper hand. He'll then hunt down Theo. He currently runs in 10th place at the moment. He will want to improve his position further. Drama on lap 1 once more. It's nothing less than you'd expect from PFL. But it is AR Force that leads, but he doesn't have the biggest gap in the world. Maxi Monster will be lurking. Hydrants too will be lurking. So we have completed the first lap, and it seems like everyone has got through it well enough at least. We have some drivers, of course, in the pits to change their tyres and to get their new front wings after contact on the first few corners. Like I said, it is AR Force that leads out in front. Hydrant's now at the mercy of Horridby. These, the two leading medium compound runners. It is Hydrant that holds the upper hand at the moment, but for how long will he hold the upper hand?
So I've got some news on collision there from Horridby on the exit, damage to front wing possibly. But yes, anyway, I have information on Scofie with his penalty regarding the hard tyres. There is not going to be a penalty for Scofie as people were readying him up too quickly. He wasn't able to put a setup on, and he put on a slower tyre basically. So no penalty is going to be given to Scofie at the end of the race.
So then, Boss established the outcome for Scofie with his strategy choice. Horridby gets Horridby's in contention with Weedbest, who hits the wall down the pitch straight. Then he then looks to the outside of turn 1. Can he make this move stick? The Aston Martin then to the outside of turn 2. They manage to make it through relatively unscathed. The Red Bull emerges ahead, but through turn 3 and 4 there's yet more contact, and Weedbest is put into a spin. And contact that perpetuated throughout the corners just got a little bit too much, and Weedbest is tumbling down the order. He surely has damage too. Kerdray now is going to try and get past Atomic Drax and around outside of turn 6. It is a lovely move from the Haas. But drama amongst the pack already. AR Force didn't get the best of exits through the casino hairpin. And does Maxi Monster pose a threat with DRS on towards the turn 13-14 chicane? The Aston Martin down the inside, the Aston Martin up into the lead. The McLaren has to take to the curb. He can seize the lead of the race though on lap 3, and Maxi Monster can now push on. He has the McLaren in his wing mirrors. You have yellow flags through sector 3. Brother Troll is out of the race. We then have a spinner. It's KOT. KOT then has seemingly found some kind of problem through the final corner. But Brother Troll then is out of the race. Maxi Monster, though, is not able to escape from the pressure that AR Force is now applying on him. It's a terrific scrap for the lead of the race. Lap 4 of 35 here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. If you are watching this race, thank you so very much for your company. Let's hope the next 31 laps will be just as good as the first 4, and AR Force thinking he has a chance down the inside of the casino hairpin. There's a little bit of contact between the two. They managed to get through relatively unscathed. This is where Maxi Monster took the lead on the last lap. Can AR Force return the compliments on lap 4? Down the inside into the chicane, he does so.
Great racing there from the pair of them. Great racing around that chicane. It's very difficult to take there, but they're both making it, keeping it clean, so it's great racing from these two.
It is indeed, and it's just what you want to see for not only some quality Saturday night entertainment, but just for a race in general. Let's hope this respect is carried across the pack. Now, the two Hasses seem to be relatively close to one another, and Kawasa wants to advance ahead of his teammates. And down the inside of turn one, is he going to make the move stick? He is on the brakes. But he then runs wide through turn two, and he's going to have to concede the place to Atomic Drax. So it's changed through the first two corners between the Haas drivers, and it's still Atomic Drax that just about has the upper hand. Hydrant is holding on to P3, but by the skin of his teeth at the moment. Shadows is taking the fight to him, and so too is Revoked. It's a three-way scrap for third place. It's a two-way scrap for the lead. And this race has been everything indicative of PFL and more, but Shadows losing the rear through the exit of the casino hairpin, and Revoked says thank you very much, and he ceded fourth place with relative ease. He can now set his sights upon Hydrant's third place. Doesn't look like he's going to make an impression into the chicane, but on exit with DRS, with Slipstream, will he have the final place on the podium? Oh, that's a mega exit. It's mega speed for the Williams down the straight, and that is third place for him.
Oh, Joey clipping the wall of champions there.
And he's lost his front wing. So Jowry, who was running in a very promising position, is going to have to pit at the end of this lap. Great drama, thrilling drama around the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve, there's only been 5 and a bit laps so far, but it has been absolutely riveting. So then the battle for the lead reignites. AR Force, who started from pole, holds the lead. But that could all change come the end of this straight. The drivers will venture on towards turn 13 and 14. Meanwhile, Shadows is going to apply pressure onto Hydrants. On towards the chicane, he looks to the outside. Is he late enough on the brakes? You sure bet he is. Shadows up into fourth now. Hydrant just didn't have a response. All these yellow flags to sector 3. So the two Hasses going side by side too. It's obviously some kind of problem for a driver through the third and final sector. But no safety car or virtual safety car has been deployed, so you have to assume that it's not been a dramatic circumstance there.
Both Hasses pitting now. They're going to have to double stack, and that's really going to hurt KRAS's time there. He should stay out for another lap.
It is indeed. Particularly as Atomic Drax has to pit for a new front wing. After it's going to be an interminable wait for Kawasa, and well, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't drop down into last place. But AR Force still leading this race. Maxi Monster is still, though, breathing down his neck. We're about a fifth of the way through this race. And let's hope the rest of the race will be as good as the first fifth, because, well, we've had racing for the lead, we've had racing for the podium places, and we just do not want it to end.
If the race carries on like this without a safety car, the ZV Shadows and Hydrant are both looking very strong on those medium tyres. They can definitely do what they want to do, and maybe even take advantage of the fact that they're top 3 on the soft compounded tyres.
Indeed, but they could take an even greater advantage if Shadows gets past Revoked, because if he can put himself into some clear air and register the lap times that may give the top 2 something to think about, my word, we have a race on our hands between the top 2 and the drivers running in 4th and 5th. Still a long way to go in this race, but there are still so many questions to be answered and so many battles to be decided. One of them is going to be between Revoked and Shadows down this straight. The Red Bull has DRS. Revoked knows that, and he's going to defend to the inside. Which way is the Red Bull going to choose? He's going to choose the outside line. On exit, can he get a healthy enough exit to really trouble Revoked's podium place? AR Force getting close, but not close enough to Maxi Monster. Oh, Shadows down the inside into turn 1. It's opportunistic. He manages to keep it on the road, but I thought it was going to end up in tears. Revokes actually then gives Shadows the position. So Shadows is now up into third place. And can he cement that third place by getting away from Revokes and perhaps putting himself in contention for race victory?
Now the problem is for the two at the front, the soft tyres. Their soft tyres are now 8 laps old. After about 8 laps, 8 to 10 laps, those softs start dying out. Then between 10 to 15 laps, the mediums are the faster tyres. So they're getting to the point where the mediums are going to start closing in rapidly. It's going to be interesting how they play it.
Indeed it is. It is Maxi Monster that does lead this race. He has got past AR Force, but can AR Force take the lead back? We are seeing how powerful DRS is around this track. But AR Force actually dives into the pits and... Okay, I assume that there are no penalties for speeding in the pit lane or something because...
not in tier 2, there isn't.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So then, Maxi Monster leads this race ahead of Shadows, then comes Revokes and Hydrant. Yeah, okay, so that is the top 4 at the moment. So AR Force, it'd be interesting to see where he comes out on track. It will be in 6th place, but he will be praying that a safety car is not deployed in the next few moments. Atomic Drax, though, is on the rear of Jowry. This is the battle for 12th and 13th. It's the one that Jowry heads for the moment, but for how much longer? Atomic Drax, looks to the inside. Oh, he's going to hit the wall. He does. Atomic Drax understeering through the second part of the chicane, and he does lose part of his front wing. If that was a voice crack, it was hideous, but apologies. So, Atomic Drax then in 13th. He is surely going to have to pit, but Hydrant gets past Revokes then. Revokes must have made a mistake through the hairpin, and Hydrant has picked off another place. Yes, Maxi Monster indeed pitting there. So that will hand the lead of the race to Shadows. Hydrant jump up into 2nd place. Revokes 2 comes into the pits. We the Best now is hunting down Atomic Drax, who of course has front wing damage, and on towards turn 8. The Red Bull has the place, does run a little bit wide. 13th.
The undercut's paid off.
It has indeed. AR Force has a very healthy gap to Maxi Monster. Over 2 seconds, or we have yellow flags through sector 3. And Atomic Drax has gone very wide through the casino hairpin, and his race becomes that little bit more troublesome.
Both the house pair not doing fairly well, unfortunately for them. Both picking up penalties, damage in the front wings. It's an unfortunate race for them. But they just going to keep going. Hopefully there's a safety car that comes out later on and gives them a bit of a hand.
Indeed. Now it is Shadows that leads this race ahead of Hydrant. Oh, do we have a problem for We the Best through the first sector? We do. He is spun off the exit of turn 2 and he drops down into 14th place. Atomic Drax is finally coming to the pits to change his front wing. He will go out on the track and he will have to reassert himself in this race. It's not been the race that he would have wanted. There are still plenty of laps left to sort something out and to change his fortunes around. Now Gatekeeper does change his front wing. He will come back out onto the track, possibly around We the Best. It's going to be... oh no, We the Best actually comes into the pits to defy that theory, also defy that observation. But the closest battle out on track at the moment is between Horridby and Akurdre. The drivers that started 3rd and 4th are battling it out for... no, 4th and 5th, sorry.
Padre should go for an overtake here. Nope, doesn't quite get him into turn 1. Horridby already flashing though with his under 10% battery, so he's going to be a sitting duck there, I think, for a Padre when a Padre gets from the straight. Fortunately, Valiant Buffalo has left, so you're just left with me for now until he can get back in. Oh, he's talking in chat, so he's still in the game. I'm going to quickly invite him. Okay, Scofield now, P2, 12 lap old hards versus Sleepy Shadows, 13 lap old mediums. Oh, collision there between AR Force and Scofie. Oh, and Scofie pushing AR Force right off the track. Maybe some front wing damage as well to both the cars, but we'll see how this goes. Scofie there getting a bit overzealous with his corners there.
Sorry, did I lose connection there?
You did, yes.
Yeah, okay. So then, I am back.
Have you re-enabled your audio?
Yeah, I have.
Awesome.
It's going to become a ritual for me soon. So then, looks like AR Force has advanced past Scofie and up into second place. Maxi Monster though, getting very trigger happy on the throttle there. Manages to point his Aston Martin in the right directions too, and it looks like Scofie's left the session. He's lost connection. Maxi Monster will say thank you very much. It's a very easy pass for him. We have yellow flags out in sector 3. They're probably
really the best spinning at the hairpin.
Okay, so his race getting no easier there. But then Horridby is closing in on a Curdray. The battle between the Aston Martin and the Alpine is getting closer. Is it getting close enough for Aston Martin's liking? His teammate runs in second place currently behind AR Force. The McLaren triggering the undercut. It worked a treat, but he now still sees the Aston Martin in this battle. It's a battle that may just continue up until the end of the race. The gap is next to nil as the drivers head on towards the casino hairpin. AR Force is wary of the threat that Maxi Monster poses. They go into the casino hairpin, and it looks like the Aston Martin may just get the better exit. They have swapped the lead around numerous times in this race. There's probably going to be another edition of that, as the Aston Martin is going to sweep past the McLaren into the chicane, and the lead once more is his. Despite losing the race slightly through the exit of the chicane, McLaren does have no response for the moment. Oh, and it looks like Revoke's actually struggled there through the final chicane, and Shadows is spotting an opportunity down the inside into turn 1. The Red Bull goes, and he demotes the Williams down into 5th. The Shadows in the Red Bull is now up into 4th. Hydrant 2 is his name in a battle. He's closing in on Horridby. The Aston Martin has the upper hand. But can Hydrant change that? AR Force is still sticking with Maxi Monster, and the Aston Martin lets him through. He obviously wants the DRS down the straight, and I think he possibly would want that because maybe he might be down on energy, and that would be a tactical decision there from him. But we do have...
Yeah, it looked like Hydrant there closing the DRS early, just so he can stay behind him for the long straight, I'm thinking.
It's a wide line from Horridby through the hairpin. Hydrant came perilously close to contact with him there. But down the straight with DRS. Will 7th place be his? Horridby defending to the inside. The Alfa Romeo around the outside, later on the brakes. And yes, he is up into 7th place. Maxi Monster still in battle with AR Force. The McLaren leads this race. But do not be surprised if there are more battles to come between these two. Lap 17 of 35 at the moment. We are trickling towards half distance. It's been a race of, well, fantastic racing so far. It has been an absolute joy to watch, but it must be so tense, so nerve-wracking for AR Force. His lead has been under threat so many times in this race. He's then also had to re-overtake Maxi Monster, and it's a race of calculation between these two. Maxi Monster does have DRS, he does pull to the inside, he does have the race lead back through the chicane. Looks like he's going to hold on to that lead come turn 1. When Revoked has not had the best of exits through the final chicane. Kerdre is going to take his opportunity. Oh, they were so close to contact there. Revoked had to back out of the battle. There's Kerdre now up into 5th place, and he has punished that little mistake from Revoked through the final chicane.
Some great driving again though from the two at the front. Some clean, great driving. They're both so equal, both so fierce in their fighting. It's good stuff to see.
Absolutely. Oh, and the McLaren quite late on the brakes there into turn 8. Thankfully, no contact was made. But these two have been rather inseparable in the first half of this race. They're keeping it clean and they're keeping their dominance out in front absolutely maintained. Shadows does have a penalty. He does run behind Scofie, but with DRS on towards, well, through turn 12 and on towards 13, he has the move done. Red Bull now up into P3. Does take a load of curve through the second part of that chicane, but that will do him no harm whatsoever. Now, Matt, what do you think Scofie might do? I say that actually yellow flags are out in Sector 2. I think Gatekeeper has had a problem. He has. But what do you think Scofie is going to do? He obviously looks to be pointing towards a one-stop. So, what do you do if you're Scofie? It seems more likely if he had to pit a moment, it would have to definitely be for the medium compound tyres. But could you see him possibly going to the softs?
The softs at a push could probably do about 15 laps, but after 10 laps, they're just going so much more slower. So if he can last until about lap 20, he can definitely stay on. He can go into the softs for the last 15 laps, but he's going to lose so much speed for the last 5 laps. If he can get a big enough gap, he could gain positions. If he wants to play it safe, he needs to go on some fresh mediums.
But one thing that is not safe for Scofie is his 4th place, because Kerdre down the straight has just breezed past him using the younger tyres and the better speed in that Alpine at the moment. The AlphaTauri just did not have a response. This really out in front has been a race of attrition between AR Force and Maxi Monster. Like I said, the walls are waiting and it's very easy to make a mistake throughout the lap. But so far through the first 19 and a bit laps, they have kept it clean despite being under enormous pressure.
Yeah, these two are just insane with their racecraft. Both giving each other the respect they deserve, as well as the space as well for the corners. Because not a lot of drivers can do that, but they're doing it really well and they're doing it fantastically.
They are indeed. This is probably going to be yet another move for the race lead. Maxi Monster into the final chicane, takes the curb, claims the road and the lead. AR Force does not have DRS because, of course, the detection point is on that first straight, so AR Force will have DRS through both of the straights. Horace-B is trying to make an impression on Lockmire Woods. Scofie is being hunted down by Revokes through the first few corners. Revokes on the younger softer tyres is giving Scofie, the AlphaTauri, something to think about. He drove a fantastic race, did Scofie, yesterday, going from last to first. Doesn't look like that same sensation is going to be replicated on this Tier 2 stage.
I have a feeling Scofie, I'm surprised he's still on those hard tyres after 21 laps. He's definitely gone long, but now the tyres are worn on Williams.
Owen Revokes has found the wall. He has lost his front wing, and after he had just claimed 5th place, he's got to pit.
That's unfortunate for Revokes, sir.
It is indeed. He's very lucky.
But yeah, Scofie on these tyres though, for 21 laps or 20 laps, it's just insane. They can only do normally about 18 laps, so he's definitely playing the tyre management. He's probably going to pit around lap 23, 24 and go on to the softs to the end of the race.
We have yellow flags to sector 1. AR Force! Oh my word, he's spun! He's spun out of contention, and most possibly he has spun himself out of a chance for the race win. We talked about how the front two hadn't made a mistake in this race. It looks like he's lost his front wing too. Oh, it's all got away from the McLaren. The pressure may have just got to him. In the second half of this race, he drove such a good race up to this point. But the Wolves were waiting, and the Wolves have won the battle between him and the McLaren, between, the Wolves and the McLaren. Oh, that is such a terrible shame for AR Force. His race has unravelled, and Maximonster can sigh a breath of huge relief. The job isn't done, but his main rival has just spun himself out of contention. That's a real shame, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. He's still got a healthy gap behind him, so he can go onto the softs, get that front wing repaired, and he'll still come out ahead of KOT in P10 or P9, so he's still going to be fine. He's still going to get some points here, and he's going to be on the fastest tyre. Maybe he can go for that fastest lap.
Indeed, he may have to hope for a safety car in this race. We do have yellow flags through the second sector. It looks like his teammate Gatekeeper has had a problem or two, compounding what has been a race of utter misery it's been a miserable past lap for McLaren, really. But AR Force is going to come out on track relatively close to the Aston Martin of Hornsby. He's going to rejoin behind him, but on these younger tyres, and with the pace that the McLaren has shown in this race, the battle probably should be won relatively swiftly. And said that the Aston Martin has driven a very cool and composed race so far.
This is interesting actually, because even though AR Force is obviously pitted now and he's got that front wing repaired and he's got some fresh mediums on, they can go to the end of the race. Maximonster has to pit, and in fact he does pit now, so it's not really too bad of a result still for AR Force, because everyone ahead of him still needs to pit apart from a couple.
So then Maximonster, he will come into the pits. Looks like we have a spinner. I think Atomic Drax has had some kind of problem, and Maximonster is onto the medium compound tyres then. So it should be his final stop of the race. And he said that there are still so many answers, so many questions to be answered. So do not think that this race is done and dusted yet. The battle between Hornsby and AR Force is getting that much tighter. The McLaren has had, what was going to be a race filled with so much promise. It may still be a race of so much promise, but Lady Luck is going to have to pay a visit to his door.
But AR Force now, hits the wall a little bit there, hopefully he didn't get any damage, but AR Force now is just about to... He's just got to go for damage control now. He's just got to try and take as many points as he can, get past Hornsby as quickly as possible, possibly catch up to Hydrant, but it's going to be a tough slog for AR Force.
Is indeed. So then, Ray and Shadows pitted. Ray is onto the mediums. Shadows is onto the mediums as well, I believe. Yes, he is. And it looks like AR Force is going to progress past Horridby into turn 1. And AR Force is reviving his race. The first part of this revive at least is getting past Horridby, which he is now done.
Scofie in the lead now on 24 lap old hard. Still yet to make a pit stop, obviously, but he can easily go into the softs now and be fairly comfortable to finish the race on them.
Absolutely.
Or he could be waiting out for a safety car. It's either or.
It is going to be a race where Scofie, he does pit now actually, but he's going to go onto the soft compound tyres surely. And that AlphaTauri is going to be blur around the corners of this track. He is going to be registering pulsating lap times, and the drivers ahead of him are going to have to be wary. This man may just be on a mission. He proved that the improbable is possible. He went from last to first in Tier 1 yesterday. He is going to rejoin this race in 5th place. To be quite honest, he definitely could be in the hunt for a podium finish.
Definitely, and if something happens between Maxi Monster or Hydrant, then he could even go for maybe even a win, dare I say. Those softs are going to be so much more faster. He's got plenty of VRS. He can definitely do some good positions here now. There's 10 laps to go. Is anything to play for?
I'm rubbing my hands together. I know that this is going to be a thrilling ending. All of you watching at home, you need to know that too. Whatever you're doing, whatever plans you had for the next 10 laps, cancel them, because this is a battle. These are going to be 10 laps you do not want to miss. A Curdray is closing in on Hydrant. The battle for 2nd place is intensifying. The Alpine will probably have DRS going down the start-finish straight. So it's going to be a tight battle between the two. AR Force actually hasn't escaped from Horridby just yet. But a Curdray now in 3rd, sets the fastest lap of the race. Shadows in 4th, is less than 1.5 seconds ahead of Scofie. We have yellow flags out, and that's because Gatekeeper has had yet another problem. But the battle for 2nd place is getting ever closer. Hydrant is running ahead of a Curdray who seems the quickest, has just set the fastest lap of the race and seems the quicker driver at the moment. Goodness me, because he even closed in on Maxi Monster. We will have to see. Scofie is already closing in on Shadows. He may just have DRS going down the long DRS straights. But for the moment, let's just cast our attention to Hydrant, who is going to have to fend off a Curdray down this straight. Nathan's glitched or ghosted car is in the way, but Hydrant is going to have to look behind him. Now he's going to have to look ahead of him because a Curdray powers up into 2nd place. And maybe, just maybe, the battle for the lead could be on. Shadows is still ahead of Scofie, and it looks like the AI of one of the Hasses, perhaps it's Kawasa, has spun around, and
it's Drax.
Drax. Yeah, it's okay. So it's Drax then. His AI spin or his ghosted car spinning through the final corner. He is still in this race, but well, he is way outside the points. We have yet more problems, it seems, as that yellow flags were out in sector 2. But Scofie here is closing in on Shadows. The Curdray isn't really running away from Hydrant. So the battle for 2nd and 3rd and 4th and 5th is getting that much hotter. All Shadows might have to defend from Scofie, who's going to launch an attack into the hairpin, down the inside, a little bit of contact between the pair. But Scofie took his opportunity and took it well. He's up into 4th.
Now he has the monstrous task of trying to gain 6 seconds on the Hydrant ahead. But obviously, as one person once said, catching is one thing, overtaking is another.
Oh, Gatekeeper's out of the race. He's crashed through the final corner, and the safety car's been deployed. Oh my,
oh my God.
Oh my. Now, I was about to say a curve race actually reduced the deficit to Maxi Monster. It was less than 3 seconds. The battle for the lead of the race was on. It is most certainly on now. Scofie, well, he's going to be on the softer tyres, and if the 3 ahead of him pit, he might just be in the lead of the race.
Yeah. The soft compound tyre is easily going to be the fastest tyre now. Everyone should be pitting for that. But if Maximonster, Cardre and Hydrant pit now, Scofie will be in the lead with softs. He doesn't need to pit again. Why would he? So, this has played so much into Scofie's hands here. Great race, good strategy, waiting for that safety car, and it's paid off.
It is paying off handsomely. Remember what I said about cancelling your plans? Well, I think these past moments have vindicated while Shadows had a problem through the hairpin. And, well, I'd be amazed if he hasn't encountered damage. Maxi Monster pits, Acurdre pits, Hydra pits, Scofie is going to stay out. He will take the lead of the race. Yes, he'll be on older tyres, but they're not, too old. KOT now has a drive-through penalty as he's sped under the safety car. Shadows is up into second place. He actually doesn't have damage to his Red Bull, which is a relief. Maxi Monster rejoined just behind him.
That's going to be frustrating for Maxi Monster. He has to get past Shadows now before he can have a chance at Scofie. Shadows now could really hinder Maxi Monster, or he could let Maxi Monster through because he's not really going to be able to defend from fresh softs. So it's going to be difficult for Maxi Monster to gain anything here.
It is indeed. We will have probably a 4 or 3 lap sprint to the checkered flag. The Circuit Gilles Villeneuve always throws up great races. It is proving no different for PFL Tier 2.
Interesting to see as well, Cardre staying out on the mediums, 15-lap-old mediums. He's going to be a sitting duck, but if he can defend for his absolute life, he might be in for a good result still.
Definitely. We the best is still out on track on 18-lap-old hards. Okay, but well, we'll have to see. Now, another factor in this race is if the drivers that are a lap behind can unlap themselves. So the likes of Jowry, the likes of Weederbest, Jowry, Kawasa, ex-making and Atomic Drax are a lap down. So it'll be interesting.
They won't be able to unlap themselves, unfortunately. But they should be ghosted, so it shouldn't be too much of a hindrance for other drivers. But obviously there is going to be that larger gap, which is going to be a problem for the other drivers.
It is indeed. We're on lap 31 of 35. 5 laps left of this Tier 2 race. It has been an absolute grand race so far. It has had terrific racing out in front. And let's hope it gives us a finish for the ages.
Could Scofie do it again? Can he win Tier 2 Canada? Can he be the king of Canada?
We will have to see. He has
It's been such a great race.
It has been such a great race. It has been a thrilling race. It's been a joy to commentate. I'm sure I speak for Matt as well in saying that. But wow. You could not really have foreseen the past 31 laps. It's been such a great race, and we still have 16 out of the 18 drivers that started this race, which is great to see as well. So then, the safety car doesn't look like it's going to come in at the end of this lap. May come in at the end of next lap though.
I believe the safety car does come in. It comes in at the beginning of that long straight, not actually in sector 3, so it's a bit delayed than most of the tracks.
So then,
the safety car is staying out for one more lap.
So then, that will give the likes of Scofie just that little bit more motivation, because he knows the drivers on the younger tyres don't have as much time to close that gap to him.
Shadows on the medium tyres. For some reason I thought he was on the soft, so Shadows could... he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck, and that's going to slow down Maxi Monster for a few laps. And that could give Scofie the win if he doesn't make any mistakes.
So then Scofie, who started this race from 9th place, he had it all to do. But at the moment he leads this race. It is most probably going to be a 3-lap sprint to the end. The AlphaTauri warming up his tyres for what will be a safety car restart imminently.
Now this is going to be very important for Scofie. If Scofie can catch Shadow's napping, that's going to open up maybe a second before we can get into the last few laps. So if Scofie can time this just right, should be in for a good shout here.
We will have 1 lap of DRS. It will come on the last lap, but if Scofie can eke out a gap greater than a second, then he's not going to have that threat. It looks like he's put the foot to the floor, and we're racing once more here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Shadows is not passed on. Then there's contact between him and Maxi Monster, it seems.
Cadre up into P2 from P4. Great stuff to see on the restart.
Looks like there's been a communication problem or some kind of problem between those drivers, but it has given a Cadre 2nd place. Shadows is 3rd for the moment, so the best is now out of the session.
Maxi Monster getting a 5-second penalty as well, so that's really going to hinder him.
Scofie could not have wished for a better safety car restart. He's 3.5 seconds clear of a Cadre already.
Cadre though gaining 2 positions in the restart with 18-lap-old mediums on 2 people that are on fresh softs. I think that's still got to be the overtake of the race so far.
It certainly has its place amongst the conversation. AR Force is going to try and get past Maxi Monster. Maxi Monster is going to try and get past Shadows. Shadows may want to get past the... Well, he is obviously going to want to get past the Cadre. But it seems like, well, with the slipstream train, it seems like nobody's going to be able to make an impression on one another. Through the final chicane, it's about getting the right line through the final chicane. Always a problem there for Horridby. Horridby's had a problem. He is now out of this race. But we have 2 laps left of what has been a hectic race around the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Oh, Maxi Monster thought there was a gap down the inside of Shadows. There wasn't one there for him. Is he going to look down the inside into turn 6? Oh, again he thought about it. He managed to escape a collision there. They're still battling it out like hell for the top honours in this race. Neither want to give an inch, neither want to compromise, but who can come out on top? Surely in this race it's going to be Scofie, but the battle for 2nd place, headed by Scofie, is then in 3rd going to be headed by Maxi Monster, who gets ahead of Shadows. AR Force then wants to follow suit. Can he get past Shadows' Red Bull? He's on the softer compound tyres. He started this race from pole. He's spun out of contention. He wants his name back on the podium step. But he isn't going to be able to do that, at least through the chicane. But he gets a very nice exit, does the McLaren. He's going to pull to the outside of turn 1 onto the final lap of the race. The McLaren around the outside. Can the McLaren get through up into 2nd place? No, the Red Bull keeps him at bay for the moment. But it's battles here, there and everywhere on the final lap of the race. The positions have not been decided just yet. But with DRS in action come the end of this lap, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Kawassa's had a problem through the first few corners. Oh, Cadre's been passed by Maxi Monster. The Aston Martin is up into 2nd place. And Shadows could possibly spot an opportunity.
Yeah, but a Cadre though has no penalty, so Maxi Monster and Shadows shouldn't be a threat as long as a Cadre can keep it clean for the rest of the race.
So then it looks like for the second day in a row, Scofie is going to convert an improbable chance of race victory into race victory. Shadows has got past Okurjere on Rose, but of course he has a penalty. Okurjere is going to hunt down Shadows. He's going to look for the inside line into the chicane. Is he going to make it through? Oh, there's contact between the pair. He's gone into the wall. And whilst that has happened, Scofie has crossed the line. He has won the race. And the drivers are going side by side at the line. What a finish to an incredible race around the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. But it is Scofie who has conquered the rest here today. And in the end, he only beat AR Force by 0.4 of a second.
That's insane. I think
he must have had a penalty.
Okurjere got really unlucky there. That's got to be insane. I don't think Scofie did receive a penalty. I think it's just bugged out because I haven't got the detailed interval working. So I don't think Scofie did have a penalty. But Okurjere, though, getting very unlucky.
Indeed. Oh wow, what a finish to this race. Okurjere crashing at the final corner. What a finish to an incredible race around the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, a track that never ceases to deliver drama. It's delivered drama once again here at PFL. But Scofie, for the second day in a row, reigns supreme around the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve. Once in the Haas, once in the AlphaTauri, and this weekend has belonged to him. Then another fantastic race. Like we said, it's Scofie that wins. And in the end, yeah, he only won by 0.4 of a second.
With no penalty, that's interesting. Might have made a mistake into the final corner, maybe.
He may have. My word, so AR Force, who was running as low as 5th or 6th at the safety car restart, somehow comes through to 2nd. Oh, wow.
Great recovery there from AR Force.
Absolutely
insane.
Absolutely. It's been another hectic race. And it is Scofie that has come out on top once more. And wow, I'm going to need to lie down. I'm going to have to digest what on earth the last 35 laps have been. You can use all the superlatives in the world, but it doesn't quite comprehend the magnitude of the drama we have just seen. PFL lives up to its indicative, synonymous drama once more. And it seems, hopefully, it will do so tomorrow with Tier 5 and Tier 4. But, yeah, Matt, any lasting impressions of the race?
Scofie's King of Canada. That's all I'm going to say. Scofie, King of Canada.
I was about to say Justin Trudeau, be aware, but he's the Prime Minister, I think. So, yeah. Oh, no, it's the Queen Elizabeth. I don't know. My royal knowledge is not up to scratch. But Queen Elizabeth, well, what is it? King Charles will one day be King of Canada through the Commonwealth, but the King of Canada at the moment is Scofie, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Tier 1 did it from last in the grid. Tier 2 he's done it from 9th. Played the strategy perfectly. Amazing race from Scofie. Amazing. I'm going to start
a Bet365 site for this league. I'm going to say Scofie wins tomorrow. Please drive, Scofie. Please drive. Oh, I'm losing that bet.
Please don't, Scofie. Please don't.
But yeah, it's been domination from Scofie around Canada this weekend. But that has not been the full story, because it's been carnage in Canada. It's been craziness in Canada. But there's only been one man that has conquered it so far, and that is Scofie. So then, thank you all so very much for your company. If you did tune in for the whole race, I think you saw the benefits of it. Thank you so very much for your company. Tier 2 will return next week around Zandvoort. And yeah, I absolutely cannot wait for that. From myself and from Matt, thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, enjoy your Saturday evening, enjoy your Saturday. Unless you live, somewhere where it's Sunday, and I just forget it. But that is it for tonight. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.